Coach, how different was it for you to be kind of thrown into the coaching world this season after the season already started? So you don't have a training camp, and it's a staff that you inherit.
Well, it's still basketball. It's not that complicated. We try to get over our ideas real quick. It was complicated because you expect to win every game. They start off a little bad, and then at least when I signed, I said, well, Steve Nash is coming back in a couple games. When I get there, by the time I get there, he'll be there, and then you have Steve Blake. So I'm going, we got this point guard, so we can figure things out. And when I got to LA, I found out Nash is going to be out another 6 weeks. Then Steve Blake goes out another 6 or 7 weeks, whatever that was. That complicated things a lot, and we got sidetracked by losing and playing different ways, and I wanted to play it kind of this way, but we couldn't. We didn't have any point guards. They were waiting for point guards to come back. It was all mixed up for a while.
And now, when you first got the job and you saw that roster and the injuries really weren't there yet, what were your expectations for this team?
Just like everybody else, you see the paper and you see what can be. And I'm thinking, Nash will be able to take care of this and that. The pick and roll will be devastating and all that. Well, it didn't quite work out for a long time, and still a work in progress a little bit.
And how did those expectations have to change because you had to mix and match so much and use some different personnel?
Well, what you do, you appreciate some of the different things that each player can bring you. And, I've got it was a high appreciation anyway of Pau Gasol, for example. I didn't know he was this good. And how great he can be when the ball goes through him. So you change up that a little bit and maybe not so much emphasis on the pick and roll. We just have to change different things while you're losing. When you do that while you're losing, that's not easy. So we had to go through a lot of stuff to get where we are now.
How down did you get during those times? I mean, you always seem pretty upbeat and positive. Obviously, you're frustrated, but
it's still, we have the best job in the world. So I'm, try to put everything in perspective. Again, you just try to do everything you can do. At the end of the day, you hate it. You hate to not do well. But you got to keep going forward. As they said when they said, sorry about that, it's Steve Nash calling.
Yeah.
When you go through, Winston Churchill said, when you're going through hell, put your head down and keep on going. And that's kind of what we try to do.
I mean, Coach, I asked Mitch Kupchak this, so I'm going to ask you. Nash, the leg and now the hamstrings. Pau's had his injuries. Dwight came back from back surgery. Then he has the torn labrum. Of course, Kobe, Steve Blake, Jordan Hill, which is an underrated one that people forget. Meta World Peace. I mean, the list goes on and on. Have you ever personally seen anything like this as a player, Coach?
This is different. Usually, a devastating year would be one guy out, one of your starters or two. We've had at least 5 or 6, 3 or 4 at the same time. So, yeah, it's been different. But, again, people don't want to hear that. They want to win, and I don't blame them, and so do we. And we still have enough to get it done, so let's get it done.
What about you? You had a serious injury. I mean,
you don't talk about mine. I've been going 48 for a long time, so I can tough it out. I told Nash, I said, I've had a freak knee replacement. I got back quicker.
You're out there.
So,
How's your health, though?
I'm good. No, I'm good. Don't worry about me. I'm good.
Training staff's been pretty important this year.
They're the best. They need to work on their preventive stuff. They're great on curing people. No, they're great. They've been really good.
We mentioned these last stretch of games. You guys go 8-1. How important, how impressed have you been with Pau Gasol and his play?
Yeah, and I always thought he was, we could sit here and argue he's the best big man in the game. Obviously, you put Dwight in there, but they had different games. And what Pau brings is very unique, different. He can pass. He has a good feel for the game. And guys like that are almost impossible to find, especially guys that are 7'2", and as long as he is, it's almost impossible. But he's good.
You guys kind of had a rough start, and he was battling through his tendonitis, and he had a concussion. You guys went to dinner and you talked some things out. He got benched a few times in the fourth, wasn't always starting. Anything you regret about that, or was that just the process you two had to go through?
No, it'd been nice if I would have known exactly how to do it off the run. But there was a time when Dwight wasn't healthy, so he wasn't as active. Pau was not healthy. He was not active. You put the two inactive guys together, and I'm going, that's not working. And so I tried different things instead of maybe just holding. Now that I know, I would just hold it and wait till they get healthy, and we'd be fine. But I didn't know they were going to get healthy. I didn't know what was going to happen. And so you try other things, and it worked, and we started winning. And maybe it galvanized everybody a little bit, got them a little excited about it. I don't know. But that was kind of our turning point of the season. It coincided with the Memphis thing. But it all kind of came together, and Dwight goes down, Pau took over at 5, and then he really started to blossom. Then he gets hurt, but You know, maybe I would have done it different. Obviously, with the information I have now, I'd have done it differently. But I didn't have that information, so I don't really second guess. I just try to do the best I can and try to figure out from my mistakes.
And that chemistry with Dwight and Pau seems real down the stretch.
Oh, yeah,
Those guys are really starting to understand each other.
Yeah, because they're you know, they want the same thing, so why wouldn't they? And they're skilled.
Dwight Howard, he's been the difference as well.
Yes,
you guys going
very much so.
28-12. Obviously, he's feeling better, but what's been the biggest difference that you've seen? Is it the way he's getting up and down the floor?
Well, I think that's the main thing. Before there was like an effort, then there was like a little bit of a pause. Now he can make multiple efforts, multiple jumps, can contest the driver and then get back over and block a shot. I mean, there's things that he did where he's been the seventh, defensive player of the year. I don't know how many, 5, 6, 7 times, whatever it is. He's doing that now. So that's number one. That comes from being healthy. And I think that also being healthy leads him to a healthier state of mind where now he can play and not worry about certain things. So he's gone from being a good player. He's right now dominating.
Because of the uncertainty of his future, people are always asking, what's his relationship with Kobe? What's it with Pau? Describe your relationship with Dwight Howard.
I think it's good. You'd have to ask him from my part. The thing about it is we all want the same thing. I want him to be the best player he can be and win championships. And so we want to get to the same spot. Why wouldn't it be good?
He's going to be a free agent. Dwight Howard, do you think you can build a championship team as him as the focal point?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. He was really not coming out of the game. Whether we get in a fist fight right there on the court, I wasn't up to that. So it's one of those deals.